Hi, welcome to Newly Listed. I'm your host, Barrington Miller from the Canadian Securities Exchange, and today I am here with Mr. David Patterson, CEO of Quebec Nickel Corp. Welcome to the show, David.
Thank you, Barrington. Always enjoy this.
Now, this is about a nickel company located in La Belle Province, but this is not your first foray into Quebec. What keeps drawing you back to this beautiful, wonderful province?
Well, I got to say that I've probably been in Quebec for the last 25 years, various mining projects, all the way from the far north in the Raglan Nickel Belt down to Matagami in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt. Made a major discovery in nickel up in the north, and we made a major discovery in zinc down in Matagami that we're able to put into production. It's a great province to work in, and the people are knowledgeable, they understand mining, and it really is a pleasure working there.
And apparently they know a thing or two about hockey.
Apparently.
Still too soon. Let's talk about the Quebec Nickel Corp. Yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, so loving the nickel business like I do, probably in Canada, three of the best nickel areas are Manitoba, the Manitoba Nickel Belt, Raglan, Sudbury, and Voisey's Bay. So four. But you also have just nickel being discovered in the Abitibi. And it's really underexplored in the Abitibi for nickel. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to find a property that had sniffs of nickel, not really followed up to the extent that it needed to be, and acquire that as a land position. So we've done that. That's our stake in the ground in Quebec, just north of Val-d'Or. And we believe that this will be a district play that will come from the work that we're going to do this season.
Well, that sounds like it could be a differentiator for those looking to invest either in mining and mineral exploration or specifically nickel. Would I be correct with that assumption?
Well, that would be the differentiator. What we're looking for here is nickel tenors that are higher than what you see in other areas of the Abitibi. We want to find something that when we make a discovery that we can feel comfortable that we can take that discovery through to production. And I know this sounds silly, but the first tenet in putting a mine into production, start with a deposit. And the deposit dimensions, etc., all change with your location to infrastructure. So in the area that we're in, so north of Val-d'Or, we have power, roads, airport, a working community that understands exploration. All the exploration companies that you could want to are in the area. So drillers, line cutters, geophysicists are all there that we can bring to the property. The other thing that really differentiates in the Abitibi is that a deposit doesn't have to be 10 million tons. Up in Raglan, we made a discovery, we drilled it off. The best we could come up with was 5 million tons of 3% on the back of a napkin calculation. And the company that we were joint ventured with said, get it to 10 million tons and we can make a production decision. Down and farther south in the Abitibi, we're looking at things that can be put into production that are much less, maybe half that grade and much less tonnage. I'm going to say maybe half the tonnage. So you're not forced to find a world beater deposit. We can find something that is economic at a smaller scale because everything is there.
You mentioned something earlier, and for those who may not know a lot about mining or mining terms, what is a nickel tenor?
So great question. What we like to look at in the nickel business is what would be the nickel grade of 100% sulfides? And that's called your nickel tenor. So it allows you to compare nickel across, say, drill holes, as well as across, say, deposits, Voisey's Bay, Ragland, Thompson. And so our nickel tenors that we would say look at in Ragland were 3% for massive sulfide. In Voisey's Bay, I believe they were just slightly less than 3%. So in this area, our nickel tenors could probably be 1.5% to 2%, and might at that, depending on size, depth, etc., be an economic deposit, where up in the north, 0.5% is not going to be economic, no matter what the size. So we like to think that if we look at these things driven by our nickel tenors, we find a massive sulfide, we know it's going to be ore grade.
Well, David, I appreciate the education and also the time, and of course, for you choosing the Canadian Securities Exchange as your listing. What's your symbol?
QNI. So the Q for Quebec, big N, little I for nickel, which is the elemental symbol of nickel. And Barrington, thank you very much. Another incredible journey for us to start on the CSE. And I invite everyone to look at our website, which is quebecnickel.com. And you can send me an email or you can phone me. The number is listed there. And we can talk nickel. We can talk Quebec. We can talk hockey.
Well, thank you, David. We appreciate it. We appreciate the love and part of the being a part of the CSE family. Thank you, audience, for listening and watching. I've been your host, Barrington Miller, and this has been an episode of Newly Listed on the CSE. Take care.
Go Habs.
Thank you for tuning in to another Newly Listed on the CSE. Please feel free to hit like and share this content, and hit subscribe if you haven't already.